I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
I never knew that Edward James Olmos was accused of molesting a 14-year-old girl. Thanks to John Doe on Twitter, now I know. Check it out.
For Keitel lawyers, deal's almost too perfect. Punny. Friday, December 12th, 1997, New York Daily News. Harvey Keitel is coming after Edward James Olmos again. Although police in South Carolina have dropped their investigation of sexual assault charges against Olmos, lawyers for Keitel are expected to ask a New York judge to force Olmos to testify about the incident. Earlier this week, Olmos reached a deal with his accuser. Keitel, however, is still trying to overturn a court order that awarded custody of his 12-year-old daughter to her mother, actress Lorraine Bracco, who is married to Olmos. He is expected to ask the court to subpoena Olmos, the South Carolina woman, and any other witnesses to testify about the alleged incident and settlement deal. Olmos and his accuser, a 38-year-old housewife, issued a joint news release on Wednesday saying that their dispute was a misunderstanding between two adults. The statement said that Olmos' attorney, Richard Harpootlian, who had suggested that the woman had stalked Olmos, regretted any statements that challenged the woman's conduct and veracity. The statement did not say whether Olmos had paid off his accuser, who had claimed that Olmos sexually attacked her in his hotel room on October 19th after he spoke at Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Olmos has admitted to paying $150,000 to the family of a 14-year-old girl he was alleged to have molested in 1994. Olmos has insisted he made the payment because the girl had accused his underage son of unwanted advances. Though Olmos was never charged, the judge in the Keitel Bracco custody case has barred him from being alone with a 12-year-old girl. Keitel, who'd given custody of his now 12-year-old daughter Stella to Bracco when she left him for Olmos in 1991, learned in 1993 that Olmos had been accused the year before of having fondled a 14-year-old family friend and sometime babysitter of Stella's. Keitel also learned that Olmos, while absolutely denying the young girl's allegations, had paid her family at least $150,000 to sign releases promising not to prosecute and to keep quiet about the matter. The court eventually ruled that Olmos could not be alone in a room with Stella. Most maddeningly for Keitel, Bracco hadn't mentioned any of this to him, even though their legal agreement called for her to, quote, reasonably consult on matters crucial to their daughter's welfare. Worse, he charged that, more worried about the effects of bad publicity on her and Olmos' career than about Stella's safety, she'd covered up the payoff in a conspiracy of silence. In Florida in July of '92, Lorraine, her two daughters, Stella and Margot, from an earlier marriage, her nanny, Ruth Bergman, and two friends of the family, 14 and 13-year-old girls, whom the court has identified as RG and VG, were living in a rented house on Golden Beach in Dade County, Florida, near Miami. Also present for part of the month were Edward Olmos, then 45, and his sons Bodie, then 16, Brandon, 19, Miko, 19, and Michael, 20. Bracco was making a TV film, Scam, for the Showtime cable network and frequently had to shoot at night. So on those occasions, Olmos would take Bergman and the two sisters to visit Bracco on the set, eat dinner, then return to the house. During the second week of July, according to RG, she had driven back from visiting Bracco with Olmos, Bergman, and Stella, then 6, who'd fallen asleep, it being after midnight. When Bergman and Stella went to bed, only RG and Olmos were awake in the house. RG had rented a Borgat Bacall movie and went to watch it in Olmos and Bracco's master bedroom on the first floor. She later told Linda Fairstein, head of the Manhattan DA's sex crimes unit, and testified in court that she'd fallen asleep on her stomach, head at the foot of the bed, watching the movie, while Olmos reclined with his back to the headboard, in a sitting position. Sometime after 1 a.m., RG alleges she woke up on her back, her top and bra pushed up around her neck, her shorts and panties slightly pulled down, and with Olmos peering at her. His hand was in my underwear, and one hand was under my shirt, RG testified. Dan Kornstein, counsel for Keitel, and was he doing anything with his hands? RG, yeah, he was touching me. Kornstein, did you say anything to Mr. Olmos? RG, well, I had woken up and he stopped. I left the room. 2 days later, according to the girl, the scene was repeated in exactly the same way, under exactly the same circumstances, except that this time, she'd gone into the bedroom reluctantly after being coaxed by Olmos. When lawyers asked her why she told no one about the first incident and why she put herself in danger again, she said she was shocked and confused and didn't want to tell Lorraine, because I knew how much she liked Mr. Olmos. She also explained, I didn't know how to avoid it. Linda Fairstein testified that one reason she found RG's story credible was that she hadn't tried to embellish her account, harden the case against Mr. Olmos and make him more evil in other ways. Olmos, on his side, admitted watching movies with RG alone in the bedroom, but placed the time as much earlier, between 8 and 10 p.m., and he denied having ever touched her, except on daytime occasions when he said he might have put suntan lotion on her back. He also testified that all the kids in the house had gotten into the habit of watching movies on his bed, and that there was nothing unusual about the practice. On July 17th, RG flew to Jamaica with Bracco and Olmos, turning down an offer to go back to New York with Stella and Keitel. There, she worked as a production assistant on Scam, and had what she later described as the best summer of my life. In late August, she flew to LA and stayed at Olmos' home with Bracco and the Olmos boys, one of whom, Bodie, later claimed to have engaged in some sexual fondling with her while they were in Florida. RG denies it. By October, however, she was feeling traumatized and guilty. She finally wrote her mother a letter, which she posted on an armoire mirror before leaving for the weekend. Abuse experts testified that it was not unusual for child sex victims to wait a long time before reacting, and to exhibit avoidance symptoms when they did. The letter read in part, I was and am so angry at him and myself for not doing anything, for being so scared. It's just that I felt so betrayed. I trusted him to be my friend and he really wasn't. I didn't even know if I was really molested, but I guess I was. I can't get it out of my head. I feel like I betrayed you. Please don't tell anyone. I love you. Keitel goes on to say, my only interest here is my daughter's welfare. I'm not going to badmouth Lorraine, and I'm not looking for publicity. We have a tragedy here. A man, Olmos, who passes himself off as a member of UNICEF, of various children's groups, a guy who goes to the White House and who addressed the Democratic National Convention, who paid money to silence a child from expressing her pain for an act she says he committed. He turned red and subsided, then pumped up again. He took his finger and stuck it in this girl's vagina. Keitel seemed most interested in demolishing Olmos' excuses. He claims he paid the money not because he did anything but to protect his son Bodie, who says he had relations with the girl. But who accused Bodie? There are no charges against him. Olmos is hiding.
Fucking stoned.